Call the session of Board of Selectmen for June 1st back to order. We had a brief executive session at 5:30, and we have now returned to open session pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order superseding certain provisions of the open meeting law. We're meeting via Zoom. All of the information has been posted on the agenda, which is posted in the townhouse as well as the website. And the recording of this meeting to be considered a official record of the meeting. So we are meeting today. First item on the agenda, we want to do the take things out of order and go to the bids for lots 1 and 2 since we've got Linda with us.
Or do you want to do the Memorial Day since Kathy's on? Okay,
either one. All right, well, why don't we can do Memorial Day and then we'll go right to the bid. So why don't we just go around the horn and everyone on the call identify themselves. So I'm Christine Joy.
I'm John Trainer.
Mark Rousseau.
Liz Dennehy.
Linda.
Kathy Ferguson.
Bree, can you hear me? I've been
Yes.
put on hold.
Okay, perfect. All right, so that's it. So no reporter with us yet? Okay, all right. So I wanted to thank Kathy and Bree and the other people that helped with Memorial Day. You guys did a fantastic job. We had Kim Adams who did mulching, Kathy with the announcement update, Chris Rankin and his sons did mulching and wreath placement, Roxanne Whitbeck helped with the flags, Vicki Alberti donated the flowers for the green. From the fire department, Cheryl, John, Steve, Andy, John, Curran, and Nate helped place flags at the cemetery. So fantastic job to all of you. It was, we kind of rushed. You didn't have as much time to plan as we normally do, and not having the flags was definitely a challenge, but you guys overcame it and did a really nice job getting everything done that you needed to do and getting the memorials marked. I would suggest that going forward, I wanted to thank Bree, what's the gentleman's name that did 106?
Scott Baker.
I wanted to thank him for decorating the memorial at 106. I think next year maybe we all need to work together just so that we are consistent in our displays, and I think they did a really nice job with the wreaths. But you have a budget. Nobody needs to be spending money out of their own pocket to maintain any of these memorials. They're on town property, and the town is responsible for maintaining those. So I think that maybe after the this COVID restrictions are lifted, where we're able to meet in person, that it might be good for us all to kind of sit down and just make sure that we're on the same page, because ultimately this is not about any of us. It's about honoring our brave servicemen and women who lost their lives fighting for our freedom. So as long as we keep that forefront, that's we'll be in good shape. So thank you all so much for your hard work. It's truly appreciated, and I know you solicited some donations. I think you had Sunrise Gardens that did some donations, and who else provided donations, Bree?
So we had donations from Winnipeg to Provide, which was the mulch. Vicki Alberti donated the flowers. And we had Sunrise Gardens donate pots and also flowers that we planted in the existing pots for the townhouse and out by the flagpole. She also donated beautiful bows that are hanging off of the information sign in front of the townhouse.
Yeah, very pretty.
And, Roxanne, today I spoke with her, and she is not going to be charging us for out of our budget for the wreaths that were purchased from Stevens Florist in Plymouth and the flags that finally came in. So I will use the flags for next year.
Very nice.
What we wanted to do is, and every donation is greatly appreciated from everyone. We just kind of like to keep a protocol. If somebody wants to help and join our committee, fantastic. You don't have to join, but if you'd still like to maybe help and say what you'd like to do, like Mr. Baker did, fantastic. Just let us know, because we do budget for flags. We do budget for wreaths. And
from my perspective as a member of the committee, the following must not occur. Two things. One, activity on town property without permission must not occur. And two, solicitation of funds and or goods on behalf of the town by unauthorized individuals must not occur. And again, Christine, I believe that this is something that we can certainly discuss later on, but thank you all for your support.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. We all
Very
appreciate
good. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your hard work. All right. So that's what we've got for Memorial Day. So why don't we move on to lots 1 and 2, or 1, 2, and 3 on Prospect. Linda, did you want to take the lead here?
Oh, I can, or did you read the background memo I sent to you all today?
Yes.
Want me to do a real quick recap of the high points of that, just to get us back into looking at the same thing the same way?
Right.
The bond that's due in early October is for $420,000, and then also in early October we'll owe about $9,800 in this year's interest fee on that bond. For the Open Space Committee met Friday and in executive session, and so the recommendations that I'm bringing to you tonight are from a unanimous vote of that committee. Mark sat in on that, so he can also add anything. We did not focus or discuss Lot 3. We felt that's really up to the selectmen and their procurement role to make that decision. We're in favor of it, but we didn't discuss it. So the focus of our discussion was to look at the bids for lots 1 and 2. So we assumed that you might you might take the bid on lot 3. So if you start with 420 and you take the 127.5 for that bid, you're down to about 292,000 to go. And the bids for lots 1 and 2 were 115,000 each. So that's 230,000. So you subtract those all, you get down to 62,000 shortfall to pay off the bond by early October. The Two Brooks account by October will have $47,000 in it. Of that, we suggest that 37,000 of that be paid towards the 62,000 shortfall of the bond, and the remaining 10,000 that we have in the Two Brooks account would pay off that $9,800 yearly interest. That together, those will wipe out the Two Brooks account, but that's okay. So if we take that route, then we will sadly be 25,000 K short. We will not have $25,000 to pay off the rest of the bond. We really regret this, but that's where we are. We suggest that the Capital Stabilization Fund could be used for that purpose. As you know, that was adopted by town meeting around 2012, 2013. And funds can be dispensed from that without a town meeting. It will be up to the vote of just the Selectmen and the FinCom and the Capital Stabilization Committee, which is part of the FinCom. So that 25,000 could be allocated if those votes were positive, and we could pay off the bond by early October. We also discussed quite a lot the option of not taking the bids for lots 1 and 2, and sort of seeing what we thought would be, would there be any merit in going ahead and waiting till next spring or the spring after. In any case, that would incur $4,000 in new expenses. We have to take out a new bond this year. That incurs a fee. We would have to also get a new appraisal fee. We would have to pay a new real estate listing fee and other associated fees. And then in addition, we would have the interest fee on that new bond next year. We don't know what that is yet because we don't know how big the bond is, but we'd guess it's going to be another $8,000 or $9,000. So if we delay the seed corn that we have in the Two Brooks account of 47,000 or whatever, it'll go down because it'll start spending money just to keep us in this new phase. And therefore, when that phase gets closed, we will not have the capital that we do now to help pay down the bond. We will have spent it on the process of running the bond again. Our sense is that the next year or two is not likely to produce significantly higher returns. What do we know? But that's just our instinct. It looks like, the economy's in for some sort of recovery period. So the trade-off, when we talked about it, the trade-off of waiting it out and hoping for significantly higher returns at the same time that we're spending money for at least a year or maybe 2 years, it didn't seem worth the trade-off. We are disappointed with the bid that came in, but we can make it, we can cover it now if the town can cover the $25,000. The sweet part of this is that the town voted for a 113-acre project. We're going to get 160 acres. That's what we have already. The assessor finding these other hidden 50 acres. And as we demonstrated in here, we really, I think, hit the mat pretty hard this year in terms of advertising this thing. I forgot to put in my memo, we did list it on MLS and Zillow and all the regular sites. But other than that, we mailed to all 900 members of the Builders Association. We sent it to all the South Shore towns, mostly the ones near us. We sent flyers. We went to their building departments. We put ads and things in the paper. We put articles in the paper. We put posters in the real estate agencies that would take them. We had a user-friendly website this year that really explained to potential bidders how to use the RFP process. We answered their questions online. So we feel like we really went to the mat, short of having a realtor workforce. That has from the beginning, that was our initial hope, to be able to hire a real realtor. But that is against, our town council says, you just can't do that in this position as a town. So we did learn from last year's bid. I should also mention we had 2 appraisals done each year, and we came in both years on target or below in terms of what we both bought the land for. We got a little bit better than the appraisal. And the pricing for both last year and this year, last year was right on target. This year was lower than the appraisal because we had feedback last year that from private individuals found the RFP process difficult to use. So we tried to simplify it and expected that therefore we'd have to have some lower prices to attract developers. As it turns out, we had very active people through March and April online asking us questions and saying they intended to bid. I was instinctively expecting 5 people to bid, and we had 3. So at some point, probably during April and May, I think just the era we're in of having, crazy economic times, I think some people were, scared off. They seemed awfully eager online and ready to bid and didn't show up. So I don't know why, but I was surprised. I thought we would have a bigger response. So that's our recommendation for all those reasons. We'd rather be done with it now and then take a chance. We could be in the exact same position next year or worse, or a little bit better. And if it's a little bit better, we don't save any money because we will have spent money to get there. So that's the recommendation, is that we recommend that you accept the bid for lots 1 and 2.
Okay. Who has joined us?
Me. I got disconnected again. It's
Okay, so who's with us?
There's someone
That's
else.
Christy, probably.
Sorry,
Christy's-
it's Christy with the Express. Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, very good. All right, so the gang's all here. All right.
I have a couple of elaborations, if I might, on what Linda had to say. Just going back to the beginning, when the Atwood property became available, it was, we thought, 120 acres or so, $800,000. And the concern, amongst others, besides the beauty of the property and the value to Plympton, was that that whole thing sold to a developer was going to become a sand and gravel operation. And you don't have to go much farther than just south of Route 44 on Spring Street to see what a large sand and gravel operation looks like. And a reminder that at the time it was estimated that it would be 100 trucks a day for 5 years carting sand out of there. So this original project was put together, multiple sources. We raised $100,000 in private funds. We spent $320,000 in CPA dollars, and we hoped the rest of it would come from selling the 3 lots. So we've ended up just a touch short. We certainly had hoped we wouldn't have to go and ask for money from the capital stabilization fund, but really in the sense of this big project of 160 acres and an $800,000 sale, $25,000 isn't a lot of money. One of the advantages of the first scenario that Linda put forth is that if we were going to the capital stabilization fund for $25,000 or less, simply a vote of the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee, and the Capital Committee would take care of it. If we had to go for more, if we don't do this first scenario, that would require a town meeting vote along the way. One clinker in this first scenario is, well, 2 clinkers. One, we'd have to get the approval of all 3 of those boards or committees. The second one, the developer who bid on lots 1 and 2 also bid on number 3. And it's possible that if we award 3 to the high bidder that wasn't the developer, that he'd pull out of 1 and 2. If he does that, then we're just back where we were, and we'd have to go ahead with rebidding in the future. But it certainly seems to me that the cleanest, quickest way to be done with this in very uncertain times would be to just bite the bullet and ask for a small amount of money from the capital stabilization. And I just, the one other thing I'd like to say is it was really beautiful watching the Open Space Committee take on this project, particularly in the second bidding process. They looked and looked and looked for every way to make this happen. Maybe the first bidding process, we didn't get the word out there. The word out there this time was really out there. There did seem to be a lot of interest, and unfortunately we hit the coronavirus, and I think that put a real damper on things. So sorry to ramble with that. I hope that this board would consider moving forward with the actions necessary to get this done now.
So I heard back from town council this afternoon. I went through the bid packages and then I sent him the bid packages. We're all set for tonight if the board is so inclined to vote to award the bid on lot 3 and to move forward with that process. For lots 1 and 2, because the bidder put a contingency in there that he had to get all 3 lots, we can't by right accept that tonight. I would have to go back to him upon the board's instructions and ask if he would like to submit an amended offer that adjusts that contingency, notes that it's only for lots 1 and 2. So with your permission, I'd like to do that. And also it would be wonderful if you could award lot 3 tonight so we can get that process moving.
So we would be awarding lot 3 to SJC, is that correct?
No, it's Mr. and Mrs. Curley.
So the high bidder would be awarded lot 3. Okay.
And, I do them separately, so I'd vote to award that first because they submitted a complete bid package and they were the highest bidder.
And what were we asking?
We did not specify an asking price. We gave suggested guidance.
Okay.
Well, the guidance was over 120, wasn't it?
120 for lot 3, 125 for lots 1 and 2. Suggested minimum was the word.
Yeah.
Okay, so they definitely wanted the lot because they overbid it, and it is a beautiful lot. So, all right. John, do you want to make a motion or I'll make a motion?
I have a few things. One,
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with going forward with lot 3. I guess I missed that there was a contingency on the other company that they were going to get all 3 or none. My headset was, we've already had one person back out previously. So my headset is, we should take it's a bird in hand. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year or two. So I would definitely take lot 3. I think as far as if for any reason there was a problem with that, I would feel more comfortable still going to town meeting. I have no problem supporting this. I have no problem taking it from capital stabilization, but I don't think we should do it by a vote of the 3 boards alone. So that's my opinion. So I'm willing to go forward with lot 3, and I hope that we can get lot 1 and 2 sold at these prices.
The only thing I'd say, John, is if we try to go to town meeting, that would have to be next spring. This can't be done at a special town meeting. We would then incur all these added costs again, at least another $15,000.
No, but what I'm suggesting, Mark, is it at least has to be spoken to on the floor. We don't have to vote it. It's not on the warrant.
What are you looking for, like a report at town meeting?
Yeah. Or let's, somehow get it out. But we made a commitment to the people. I think what they're getting back in value is fantastic. But I do think we need to be very careful about how we position what we're doing.
Okay, Liz, did you have something you wanted to say?
So in the interest of moving things forward, another vote that you could take this evening, because it's all properly posted on the agenda, would be to award lots 1 and 2 to SJC with the caveat that they submit an amended offer for that same price, but adjusting the contingency to lots 1 and 2. That way, we don't have to post it for next week and I have to come back to you. That way, if they agree to that, then they're sold. And it just eliminates adding another week or 2 to the process for them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you the next thing. My understanding was that legally they were not allowed to put a contingency on their bids. It was, each bid was separate. So I think clarifying with that, the bidder, that the 2 bids are, maybe just as they are separate, because if that wasn't even allowed, why ask them to bother even amending the bid? It was, I think that Jonathan would know that, but I mean, why bother asking him to do it if it was not acceptable?
He said we need them to physically amend their offer and remove that contingency.
Or whatever. But I think it would be good to make the offer of us, voting tonight to say
Okay.
It gives him the freedom to move if he chooses to.
Right.
Okay. All right, John and Mark, are you comfortable awarding all of the lots tonight, the bids?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion that we accept the bids from SJC Consulting Group for lots 1 and 2 for $115,000 for each lot.
I'll second that.
All right. Do I need to make any other
Got to do
motion?
lot 3. too.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from Scott and Susan Curley for Lot 3 for $127,500.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Yay.
Excuse me, this is Bree. On the lots 1 and 2, is that with the caveat that contingency will be removed? You didn't say that in your...
Yeah, because it'll happen anyway. If he doesn't remove the contingency, then that means he doesn't want to purchase any of the lots. So
Okay, I just wanted to put that in with my thing.
anyway, if he elects to move forward.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Anything else on the awards of the bids?
much thanks to Linda Letty and the Open Space Committee. It's a long slog, but we're making progress.
It has been a long haul. Oh my gosh.
I think considering where we started out from, you've done a great job.
Absolutely.
But, we're learning as we go, but I wish this last couple of months hadn't hit us. I don't think we would have been in this position, but
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons, not just this little tidbit. I wish the last couple of months hadn't hit us.
These people are getting a great deal, all three.
They are.
Yeah, they're beautiful parcels with a
Little
great
frustrating.
backyard.
And they're backing up to 160 acres of conservation land.
Mhm.
200 acres of conservation land behind them. It's unbelievable. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Congratulations. Yay. Awesome. All right. So we've done what we needed to do with the land, the bids. Okay. All right. So Liz, do you want to go to COVID-19 updates, or do you want to do a town meeting prep discussion?
So there's nothing for town meeting prep tonight. It's more or less a placeholder, just in,
Okay.
so we can move to COVID if you want.
Sure.
So today was the first day of the townhouse being reopened to the public, and everything went really well. I think we can all be proud of the effort that went into getting the building ready, and we should especially thank the Plympton Fire Department for all they did to help us manage the situation and all of the work that they put into the signage, the hand sanitizing stations. It's really well done. And beyond that, we should also make note that Steve Sorrow has gone above and beyond recently, coming to the building at all hours. I've been putting him on to several different requests, and he always is able to rise to the occasion and get it done. So I think that everybody has a lot to be proud of. It was really a seamless opening today to the public. And the few people who did come in were very gracious, and everything seemed to go very well. So well done for everybody involved. Especially the Plympton Fire Department. We couldn't have done this without them. So there's that. Beyond that, as far as COVID-19 goes, a few of us are going to be meeting at Dennett on Thursday morning just to kind of do a walkthrough and get the lay of the land for what town meeting will look like. We are fortunate that Peter Veneto was able to get us Steve Pello from Silver Lake and some other technology folks to help walk us through things. It would be wonderful if we could get somebody from Area 58 there as well. I've reached out to Rich, and I'll attempt to reach out to him again, just to kind of circle the wagons on that and make sure that we're all on the same page. I think that that would be really helpful for us moving forward. Additionally, in our last emergency management meeting last week, we had left it that guidance would be coming from the town clerk, but through the emergency management team, as far as putting out a what to expect at town meeting and a what to expect at the election. So that should be coming out soon. I would say probably next week sometime, because we really need to do the walkthrough at Dennett on Thursday so that we know what exactly to include in the what to expect at town meeting bulletin that goes out. So far, so good. We're trying not to inundate people with information, but at the same time, we want people to be well informed and understand that the processes for some of these things, even with respect to opening the building today, that it's not going to look quite like it used to in the past. It's kind of our new normal, at least for the time being. So we'll make sure that we stay on top of that and get word out both about town meeting and the election. And otherwise, that's all I have. As far as COVID goes, all the reported cases in Plympton have been officially cleared as of today's date, and I have not received any notification today that there are any more cases. Again, that can change day to day,
Right.
hour, but as of right now, there are no active confirmed cases in town that we know about.
Great. Thanks, Liz. Any questions for Liz on the COVID update? Great job. managing all of the work that needed to be done at the townhouse. I haven't been inside. Well, actually, I was inside because we needed to sign the warrant, and it was neat to see all the half doors, and which isn't really a bad thing anyway, to have people outside your space. I think it must be kind of nice to have a little bit of a buffer.
I think it'll work out really well overall, and we're able, some of the plexiglass inserts that we have for the countertops, those are portable. So like, just to give you an example, we plan on bringing a couple of those to town meeting to use at the check-in table. You can just pick them up and move them. So they're kind of nice, and I think that they were well made by a local carpenter. So those will carry us through the foreseeable future. So I think a lot of these investments that we're making are investments for the future. It's not so much just one-time things. But if you haven't been by, and I understand reluctance on some people's part to go to the building, even if you stop in when we're closed, it's impressive what the fire department set up. They did the bulk of the work late Friday and over the weekend. I was there last Wednesday, and it looked a lot different even coming in there first thing this morning. So they did a really great job. We have a lot to be proud of in that regard.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I want to say, being an employee there, it was really, this is right, it was really impressive to walk in, and they had it so neat and so well organized that it kind of feels safe.
Good. So people feel comfortable going to work?
Yeah, I did. I really did. As soon as I came in, and Chief was right there to greet us and introduce us, and got a radio if needed, and people seemed to be okay. I saw people in the parking lot. They didn't mind.
Beautiful. Very nice. All right. So next on our agenda, actually I don't see it on the agenda, but we have the minutes from our meeting on May 18th. Did you guys get a chance to read those?
I did.
Yes.
Okay.
The
All
only issue was Mike's name is spelled incorrectly, so if you fix that, it's fine. It's L-E-M, small m, I-E-U-X.
Okay, sorry about that.
You couldn't get that one by John.
All right, excellent. All right, so I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from the May 18th meeting with the amendment of spelling, the correct spelling on Mike Lemieux's last name.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, great. All right, so John, you wanted to talk about posting of the minutes?
Yeah, I think for some time I've been talking about how I thought as we move to a narrative format for the minutes, and given that there is such a minuscule presence of people looking at our videos, that we should be getting them out on the Plympton Facebook as well as the town website.
How are we? Are we caught up with minutes, Bree,
Yeah.
posting on the website?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are.
So we're all caught up. So John, you're opposed to putting a link on the town's Facebook page, directing people to the website, which is where all the records are kept?
I think it's cumbersome, and I think it's skirting the issue that it's like the videos. We won't see any traffic. I think we do have on our Plympton Facebook 600 and some odd people who have said, they're interested in looking at what's posted there. So all I'm saying is once we approve the minutes, in effect, even if they don't get posted for a week or two, since we've approved them, we have the right to put them on our own Facebook page. The town clerk puts it up as the official document. But we can always put the same language that we do now with the videos, that they're not to be construed as as the official document.
But then we have to do all the posting, and we do have the ability through the website for people to choose to get those electronically.
But in effect, nobody's doing that.
But why don't we ask them to do that rather
have.
than,
We haven't, I
then
believe,
maybe they're not really interested. You know, if we've already got a way to do it and they're not using what we've established, then, you know, why post them on the Plympton?
because I think a lot of what we're doing is, it should be informative to the people. I think if they realized what we were doing, they would like to see it. But right now,
Subscribe feature too on the website that we could also link and tell people, because they might be interested in other boards too, that we could post people to.
Yeah, there's everything is on that subscribe, where even I think Memorial Day Committee was on there. There were all sorts of boards
Want
and
me to see if I can bring it up?
yeah,
can-
could you bring up the subscribe, what it looks like?
Let me see if I can
how many
share this.
people are subscribing to it? I've done it. I mean, I subscribe to it, so I'm.
Can you see the screen? I can't tell.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So on here, I could link up here. I don't know if you can see where I'm like up in the browser bar. I could link that to the town's Facebook page and say, you know, if you want to receive minutes or you're interested in any of the following, please click on them and an update will go right to your email.
Liz, how many do we have now?
That I don't know. Honestly, Tara used to manage all of that. I know that there are a lot because...
I disagree. There are not a lot, unless you call 200 a lot.
Oh, well, it might be in that vicinity. I know for a while when we were posting like to the red banner, to the urgent alert section, and this is going back a ways to when Tara was there, but I remember her saying, oh, some people are complaining that we're inundating them because it's going to the red alert bar. And I guess anybody gets that update automatically. And you can see here, see where it says urgent alert updates? I guess that goes to everybody regardless. But I don't know. It's whatever you guys want to do.
I'm a little, I guess I'm a little dumbfounded why putting the minutes on our Facebook page, the town Facebook page, is seen as somehow not important.
I think it's, I agree with you, John, getting the minutes out there. My only concern just comes from a time standpoint. I know you said that you had good luck converting a Word document or a PDF document to a JPEG.
It takes less than 5 minutes.
So you may have a different version of something than I do, but I've ended up having to almost take like a screen capture of it. And then if it's multiple pages, I'm just not sure how to do that. But I know you've sent me something on your version, how it works.
I'd be glad to do it. I mean, it's a program you just key in and it does it within 2 minutes. It's, you know, it's rinky-dink.
Did we check with town council if there were any issues on this?
I did not.
I'm just a little concerned that we might stub our toe here. If this goes up before it's on the town website as the town clerk document, I think it might be worth checking with town council just to make sure. My only concern here is that it makes sense to me to have a few places where this stuff reliably is, a few places that we can direct citizens to, not only for our minutes, but for all the rest of town government. You know, I think a problem that comes up fairly frequently in Plympton Helping Plympton, for example, is you get quite a bit of these threads going with people offering advice and forgetting to offer the one piece of advice that's rock solid, which is to go to the town website and find out what the procedure and policy is. So
I'm not opposed to going to legal. I think, you know, if there is a legal issue, we should at least know about it. But I think we're skirting the fact that it seems to be a fear that we don't want the controversy that might come, and yet the minutes are the minutes. We do a good job, I
I
believe.
don't
of
think, for
putting-
me, it's not a controversy thing. I'm not afraid of the controversy. I think the records, the official records need to be on the town's website, and that's where people need to go. And if they don't care enough to sign up that way, John, I just don't know why we need to post them on our Facebook page when there's already a system set up for us to post these with a link. I mean, all they have to do is sign up.
I think that one of the things it would do, it would draw more people into town government in terms of what's going on, and hopefully foster a little more pro-government, get involved. But waiting for people aren't going to go to our town website. One, it's cumbersome. It's cumbersome by just looking at other towns. But beyond that, they've got a lot to do. One of the things that's happened is that social media, like Plympton helping Plympton, is the way people communicate nowadays. And whether we like it or not, it's a fact. You look at the number of people on there, I think it's well into the 3,000s, like 3,600 people, something like that. I may be wrong, it may be higher. We're on our own Plympton website, we're in the 600s. And I just feel like doing it will draw people in. I think if there's an issue that people say, oh, I don't like that, good, let them come forward. We have a process. We're not going to reply through Facebook, but we will then invite them to come into either meetings or email us or whatever.
Another compromise, and I don't have a horse in the race, so to speak, so I'll go along with whatever the board decides. But another compromise would maybe be, instead of requiring people to go all the extra steps like John is concerned about and having them sign up for specific alerts, what if every time a new minutes gets posted, if I link to it and I'm like, click here to see the most up-to-date minutes from the Board of Selectmen's meeting on June 1st, 2020, and just continuously, so that all people have to do is click the link, not direct them to the website, but actually to the minutes. So when they click the link, the minutes open up. And then that way it's not posting like pages and pages of a document on Facebook, but it's also not requiring them to have to go through a bunch of steps and sign up. It's a little more transparent. Like, hey, want to see what happened at the Selectmen's meeting back on May 18th? Click here. And they click and the PDF opens up and there it is. And they can print it. They can also share that post. Anyone could share it. I mean, John, you could share it. Bree could share it. Anyone could share it to say Plympton helping Plympton or on their own page. But it would get it out there, and we could do it weekly. Like every time a new set, here's the link. And that way they don't have to go through a bunch of steps and signing up for a subscription. But if they're interested, they click and bam, they open right up. That might be a good kind of a compromise.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I'm good with that. I mean, just to be clear, I don't think in this discussion is any effort to hinder transparency. I mean, we're recorded every week. We're quoted in the paper every week. The minutes are published. And I do agree with you, John. The more we get people interested in what's going on, the more we get them interested in town government. I just don't want too many different places that they have to go to look.
They're not looking, so you don't have to worry about that, Mark.
Well, I had this discussion at my kitchen table today. At some point, we're offering a bunch of venues, and at some point, if people's lives are busy enough with other stuff, they have the opportunity if they want it.
Well, I just have a different headset. I
Okay.
think you can't over communicate.
So should it be a package deal where it's the agenda and the minutes?
Thanks. That's what I was going to say, because I have had phone calls. If somebody read the minutes on something, I didn't know that was on the agenda. Well, every week we post an agenda, or every other. So if the agenda went first for that link, and then they knew what was coming up.
Our agenda is so minuscule. You look at what we had on there tonight. You know,
But they would still see that it was regarding lot 1, 2, and 3. It was still Memorial Day or still COVID. that they could know to come in. They'll look for the minutes for that day. Oh, gee, they discussed that. It would help, John.
Well, there was,
My only
you know,
issue with posting the agendas is like, we're already posting them to the website with the town clerk. I don't want to be responsible for remembering to post the agenda to feed.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't see the
I
agendas
mean,
either.
they can go back
Yeah.
to the agenda. The agenda is posted. If there's a question, I guess if something comes up in them reading the minutes and they want to follow up with it, the agendas are posted on the town's website.
Well, the agendas don't say anything, but,
No,
you know,
they really don't.
You know, I look at the Plymouth one, they do post their agenda. Betty Cavallo, I guess, is the selectman. I think that's the way you say her name. She posts it every week. And their agenda is, you know, because of the help they have 1 or 2 pages, just agenda, just items.
Mm.
They have a massive staff there.
Sure.
And I guess it's relative to the size of the community, but I went for a meeting at that town hall and needed to ask directions upstairs, and there were multiple secretaries all wearing headsets and everything.
Sure.
So it's a lot of my league.
Our
They're not out of your league, Liz. Don't sell yourself short.
our minutes don't run over 2 pages normally.
It was very fancy.
No, and our meetings don't go over an hour.
Well,
Lately
this-
they have.
That's true. That is true. That is true. So I think, Mark, are you okay with the link? I'm okay with the link.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
Okay, and yet that works for you, John, for us to give that a try? Put a link to
I'll
the
keep trying to get you
Okay.
guys to move.
baby
I'm not going to
steps.
give up.
All right, very good.
Liz, I would like you to check though if we were to do it. Okay,
Check in with what?
with legal.
I'll check in with legal first and just make
I
sure.
would like to know that. I would like to know, you know,
Okay.
whether
If we can actually post the document, is that what you want to know?
on Facebook.
Okay, okay. On our Facebook
And
page.
especially
Facebook.
post it before town clerk posts hers.
Yeah,
Okay.
with
All
the
right.
proper, you know,
Disclaimer.
disclaimer. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've gotten through the agenda and we did the minutes. I think we're ready for rants and raves, unless you guys have anything else.
Got
I had-
one other thing. I had a meeting, Zoom meeting with the library trustees. Was very positive. And they're moving forward to start curbside pickup. I think it's the 15th, if I remember, Liz.
Yes.
So I think that's a big positive. I think people, you know, that is sort of a rock in our community with the activities that have gone on there in the past.
Yeah, that is big. That's a big step. All right. So Mark, you had
one other thing too. With the opening of restaurants, should we be talking to the club? Liz, should you be approaching them just to make sure that when they open that they do it in conformity with the rules and regulations that restaurants have?
Sure. Maybe that's something that I should work on with the Board of Health, and I'll also get the fire chief involved. Maybe we could send them some information,
That'd be great.
just kind of make sure that they're
Yeah.
on everything. Because I
Yeah.
think some of these businesses are kind of out there, so to speak, like just what it all means for them. So I think that that would be a nice gesture if we reach out to them,
Great.
offer some information.
Okay.
And my question was regarding our schedule. Are we moving back in a general way toward Mondays?
yeah, how about we do Mondays? How about through town meeting and then we'll figure out after that?
Yeah. So we'll be meeting next Monday, the 8th.
But that's it. I don't think we need to meet the Monday before town meeting unless you guys think we do.
No, I don't think so.
Depends how much chaos arises. But
We would have our little meeting though. Normally we always post something for maybe a half hour before town meeting starts, just in case anything strange comes up. So I think we should still do that. And then Bree and I were looking, we need to schedule a poll hearing, which we can do over Zoom. It's not a big deal, and we can notify the people and everything. It's for 2 poles with like hazardous wires that are kind of hanging. We were looking to do that on June 22nd. And then if that works for you guys, and then we were thinking maybe after that, do the next meeting, maybe July 6th. I think at that point we can be back to our normal of like twice a month unless something major comes up.
Sounds good.
So tentatively, we're looking at June 8th, June 22nd, and then July 6th, and every other week from
And then
there.
going every other week, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and I had forgotten when that we were doing every other week, but I think we need to talk about that truck thing on rather than put that off for 2 weeks to get that squared away on the 8th. So it's just as well.
Want me to put that on for the 8th then?
Could you
Yeah.
put that on for the 8th so we can get that squared away? And hopefully
Yes.
we'll have more information from Tom Milius as to what the status is of the project. And then maybe John, I don't know if you'll have more information about the carriers, who the truckers are, if it's all SLT or if it's other people.
I don't know how I get that. I mean,
Okay.
I can tell you what goes by the house.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we'll just see. I mean, maybe people will reach out to us if they know that it's on the agenda, if they have something they wanted to share on that. Okay. How about rants and raves? Who wants to go first?
So I have a, kind of a sad thing. Dick Nordahl passed away, as you all know, and also we lost Charlie Winslow over the course of this week. So 2 old timers in town. Dick, certainly a real gentleman, had tremendous experience, and that's going to be a real loss to the assessors, having that
Yeah,
experience
sure
move
will.
away. Hopefully we can attract somebody that'll step in, but they won't step in with the same import that he had. And Charlie, I've known Charlie for years. Just always a fun guy to be around. Always had a good word and a laugh, chuckle when he was talking.
All right, Mark, do you have anything?
No, I'll salute gentlemanliness, and particularly gentlemanliness with gravitas, and also I just reiterate the Memorial Day people did such a great job on kind of short notice and unusual circumstances. It's serious times, and good to see serious work being done.
My rave is going to be the Plympton Police and Matt Clancy, and with the recent events that are happening and the tragedy in Minneapolis, it's I'm sure this is all wearing on all of us very heavy, and it's reassuring to know that they have this is something that they've been training on with the use of force, and that they are he has implemented policies with the President's Commission on 21st Century Policing and PERF, which is the Police Executive Research Forum, where they place emphasis on the sanctity of human life, and always working to de-escalate is their primary objective. So it was very reassuring to hear from our chief that this is something that our town has been working on, and that they are all on board, that they acknowledge and honor the sanctity of human life at all times. So I just wanted to share that, and how grateful that I am to have a force that that understands that, and understand how important we all are, people are. Anything else? Okay, so I'll make a motion that we adjourn, and we will get together next Monday, June 8th at 6 p.m. unless we need to have a brief executive session prior to that. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.
Hi.
Good night.